What's going on, YouTube? JT's Reborn here, and welcome to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. This time we're going to be talking about issue number 23 of Teen Titans, the current Rebirth run. And actually, this is my second attempt at recording it. My fucking phone rang and just interrupted the whole thing. I lost my train of thought, and I always hate when that happens when you're trying to record something. But anyways, so we're going to go over this issue, talk about, the pros and cons of it, and what my overall thoughts on it and stuff about the run in general, and so on and so forth. So let's get started. But first, I just want to take a moment to talk about this beautiful, beautiful, cover right here. This is the best looking cover in this entire run. I just love just the way the colors are there, the absence of color in some ways. I just think it just looks good. I don't know. I can't really describe my feelings other than I think it looks amazing. It is a gorgeous looking cover, the best that they've done. Then let's go ahead and take a look at the issue info really quick before we continue. This is what the solicitation said, or the summary, even though a lot of it isn't true at all. So let's go ahead. The summary, the plot of this issue: the Teen Titans head to Gotham City, where they must thwart a plot to assassinate Commissioner Gordon. So who's this mysterious figure giving Robin his intel? Well, we already know that it's Red Hood. And how does he know so much? Speaking of Robin, is he developing real feelings for the magical Djinn, or is he falling under the spell of her mystical ring? Meanwhile, more secrets come to light and more drama unfolds, putting Kid Flash and Red Arrow at odds. No, Kid Flash and Red Arrow are not at odds at all in this entire issue. In fact, Red Arrow is at odds with somebody else. I wonder who that could be. So yeah, this is a gorgeous looking cover right here. I actually do like this issue overall. I think this is the best one Glass has done. Mainly because it didn't do anything that irritated me. I'm not a fan of this prison plot that Damian has. I think it's a major character regression that they're trying to pull off with it. Because if you read stuff like Robin's Son of Batman and Super Sons and even Teen Titans, it's just like it's the same thing I see over and over again. A character makes progress, and what do they do at DC? Regression. We can't let them evolve further. That's the thing too. And he has matured a lot, especially as a leader compared to where he was at the start of Rebirth. They just made him a complete douchebag. I mean, it's kind of funny, but it wasn't to the extent of kidnapping and kind of torturing prisoners. But when he's with this team, he's a mature leader. When he's not, he's doing some dark shit, but he's not killing them. He's just capturing them. So, Batman has his prisons, so yeah, there's that. So at least he's not killing them. If he was killing them, I would lose my shit. I'd feel what are you doing? You've completely negated the past several years of development towards this character. Just to go back to that, and I've noticed they did that with Jason Todd. They did something really stupid with Dick Grayson. Now they shot him in the head, and then he's losing his memory, and he's now Rick Grayson. Fucking Rick. So, and ironically, he's more of a dick as Rick. So, but anyways, let's go over this issue. If you remember at the end of the last one, we had that kind of cliffhanger ending where it was Roundhouse, we found out was alive. We see, for example, how he was able to survive. He explains through some complicated means how he was able to survive. We also see that Commissioner Gordon, Djinn poses as Commissioner Gordon to because there's Gordon's about to be assassinated. If you remember at the end of the last issue, Red Hood gave Damian some intel that Commissioner Gordon was next on the others list, and Damian's in search of the other and whoever the hell the other is. But yeah, we find out something about how he Roundhouse got out of there. Blah 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 blah. We also see this final panel showcasing his sister, which tells me they're going to something tragic with her very soon. So I am intrigued about that. The new team is growing on me over the course of the past couple issues. It's gonna, like I said, with the new team, it takes some time, to settle in. Roundhouse, who I found pretty annoying the first few issues, actually did have a few funny moments here. There's one where they talk about how all their dead parents and the complicated things. He's just yeah, I was grounded, and then my mom and that are really strict about that. And then they go and ask him about each other's parents. Wallace West is dead. Emiko's they both tried to kill me. My one dad's dead, and then Djinn is I don't have parents. I was made from sand in the sacrifice of the blood sacrifice of 1,000 lambs. I'm what the fuck? How does that even work? So blah 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 blah. You get the point. They kind of go over it, and it was kind of funny. And Crush, talks about Lobo and that. So anyways, they find out about that it's Djinn in disguise. There's a funny reference where it's just is my performance too much? Is it Red Arrow said I should consult a Quentin Tarantino film, so she made the blood kind of overdone, and I thought that was kind of funny. Like I said, there's some funny moments in this one. Generally a good team dynamic. I think if you cut out like I said, I'm liking a good chunk of this new run, but there is stuff that kind of irritates me in terms of like character regression. Like I'm like the Teen Titans shouldn't be like. I don't think they should have like a sadistic Damian should be a sadistic prison warden. Early on, maybe 2006, I can see that, but the fact that he's, gone through so much as a character, even at the start of like the New 52, should never regress back to that. Then we also see the moments that I was dreading, that I knew was going to happen. I called it like a while back. I'm like, in terms of Damian and that. So here we go. Blah blah blah. So we see this panel right here. Like I said, they were trying to set them up. It's still like I called in the last issue. I'm like it's happening. They're gonna go for it. Although they seem to be hinting at something else with that. But yeah, like Djinn is just busy. Like she's head over heels for Robin. It's kind of crazy at this point. I don't get why she's head over heels with him so much. Well, I mean, they do explain that like he was the first person to give her a home and like introduce her to friends and like teach her about redemption and stuff and be generally nice to her. That's the thing too, is like Damian has matured to where he is a good leader, like on the battlefield for his team. Like him and Red Arrow are like he shows support. He's like shows that he's kind of watching out for them, trying to teach them like the right things. So he has matured in that regard. It's just what he does like in secret. But a lot of these, pretty much all the characters have like dark secrets to them, and that does definitely set it apart for most Teen Titans teams. Well, the dark and stuff with it. But yeah, so just like this whole thing, I've just been kind of weirded out because she's like 4,000, he's 13. But I'm like, oh, but it's like she's mystical or something. I don't know. But like Crush pretty much sums up my reaction right here. Just kill me. I thought that was pretty funny. Speaking of Damian and that, so they go after the person who's Lady Vic. Let's get to it right here. Okay, that's not the panel I want. Let's go to guided view. It's the next page. Blah, blah, blah. Crush kind of screws up in the fight against Lady Vic. And then we see the moment right here. Everybody move. Lady Vic throws a grenade. The grenade goes by Djinn. Robin freaks out and he's like, Djinn, behind you. And he's like, I've got it. And then he tries to save her. And then she's like, I feel a connection with Robin. Blah, 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 blah. So yes, they're really pushing these two in this issue. And then Red Arrow obviously is ticked off, which, I think there's she's obviously been ticked off. And, I think they're going to do probably some crazy love triangle between the three of them. In fact, I'm calling it right now. It's going to happen. Because if you remember earlier on in the run, I think, what was it, issue 13 or 14? Back when Benjamin Percy wrote it, they had that whole, 2-issue arc between her and Damian. And then Damian showed up in Green Arrow with her. And they seemed like they were setting those two up for something. And then that kind of got abandoned. Which is kind of the thing when, Justice League No Justice happened. A lot of stuff that was, seemed to be set up kind of got thrown out the window. So, yeah, I think what's happening here is Red Arrow is getting very jealous of Djinn. And, she does not like what Djinn is doing with Damian right here. Yeah, see, even right here, it's just even when Crush was acting out, he's like, your Carson almost got a lot of people hurt. It almost got your team hurt. So, yeah, they are hinting that, Damian is falling head over heels for Djinn. It could be the magic. In fact, Red Arrow points that out right there. So, Djinn is talking about blah, blah, blah. Robin's leading team needs to be focused. Robin is always focused, not when you're around. So, she is definitely getting really ticked off at Djinn. It's like, you're messing with this focus. You shouldn't be doing that. She brings up how, ever since Damian wore the ring, he's been making stupid decisions in the field, especially when it comes to her. She thinks that she may put some sort of spell on him. I think that probably happened back in, what was it, the last issue where they were in the control room and she put a hand on his shoulder. But yeah, Red Arrow is definitely pissed off, and I see this tension leading to where there's some weird love triangle that's going to happen. The writing's on the wall. It's only a matter of time before she snaps. It could be a hint of jealousy here. She just doesn't seem to care if the other teammates are doing stuff like that. But with Djinn, it's something different. Because like I said, there's definitely something between her and Damian if you go back and read some of the older issues. But yeah, the 4,000-year-old thing, that still weirds me out. But yeah, so Djinn feels guilty about a lot of the stuff and blah, 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 blah. You get the point. She's feeling guilty. He's like, I have a connection to Robin that I've never felt with anyone else. And then they go to chase down Lady Vic and come to find that she's been murdered by the other. So I don't know what these these little spikes here for. It could be something mystical, but you see like the claw marks and that. I have no idea who it's going to be. Or it could be like three blades or something. I don't know who the other is. It could be someone new altogether or some like older villain. But yeah, so, and then you have the boom thing. It's just like, what does that mean? And then we get the final panel right here. Boom. Boom. And they all seem to be dying. So that's kind of a cool cliffhanger. A lot of these issues have had like interesting, like, they're like standalone stories, but they also like have an overarching theme, which I do kind of like, because it's just like you can kind of jump into each one individually, but see the overarching plot elements through like each one. So I do give kudos to Adam Glass for writing this one. I think this is his best work yet on the title. So he has improved from like where the special, where I was, upset as what they were doing with a lot of the stuff, to where gradually I'm like, okay, this is getting a little bit better. Just move away a bit from some of the dark edgelord stuff, and I think we'll be okay. I don't know what they're going to do with the next issue. I have to look at the solicitation again. But I do like the way that this one left off. I thought it was kind of neat. But I do think like there has been some improvement in this title. And this was definitely the best one. No dark sadistic shit from Damian. Red Arrow is definitely like, she's definitely jealous, of what Djinn is doing to him, and she's definitely going to try and find some way to mess that up, or maybe it's because she likes him. I don't know. They're going to do some like love triangle shit. So if you're a fan of that, go ahead and enjoy it. Crush was growing on me a bit, Roundhouse even a little bit, and then Kid Flash didn't really do much this issue. He was just kind of there. So yeah, so that was this issue of Teen Titans. Like I said, I think it's Glass's best one that he's done. Nothing mind-blowing or anything like that, but definitely some interesting developments. And I do like the ending, too, because it's kind of a cliffhanger. The team is casually growing. It is a different feel for a Teen Titans book, as opposed to where the other Titans book, like where it was at the beginning of Rebirth. Very different. And I do feel like with this one, they're going to let them just at least tell a story for a while, because if you remember back at the start of Rebirth, it was like you had like 2 arcs, and then they had like the Lazarus contract crossover, and then they went into something else, and then it was like, cut into like little bitty pieces here and there. And it just didn't really have a chance to do its own thing. It just felt like it was constantly like something else was cutting it off here and there. Like they had, the Dark Knight's Metal crossover. By God, they've done a lot of stuff since then. It's kind of crazy to keep up with all this. And yeah, so we'll see where things go from here. I'm not sure when Jason Todd's going to factor in. I did read a solicitation for January, and it showed that Jason Todd at some point is going to betray Damian, and they're going to get into a fight, and Damian's going to go battle him to the death or some shit like that, which I'm like, oh, for God's sake. And then there was another one in January where he was going to betray Batman, and I'm like, why? Why are you doing this? And then I started to think about it, and I remember what else is coming out in January. Oh, that's right, Brian Michael Bendis' Young Justice. And who else is coming back in January? That's right, Jonathan Kent. And if you look at the January solicitations, Young Justice 1 is coming out. It's going to be Connor Kent and Tim Drake, which I'm cool. I'm glad they're coming back. I'm not sure about what Bendis is going to do with it. But if you notice, Tim Drake has the Robin symbol on his, he has the Robin suit on. He's known as Robin. And, Connor Kent is coming back and he's known as Superboy. So what's going to happen to our Super Sons then? Like, does that mean Damian and John are losing their names, or they be called something else? And then I saw it was going to be like an all-new Superboy, and I just saw that. I'm like, it feels kind of, maybe I'm kind of going crazy conspiracy theorist, but it almost feels as if like the Super Sons are kind of being shoved aside to make the Young Justice team look better. And I feel like they're going to probably take away Damian's Robin mantle, and they're going to take away John's Superboy mantle, even though Super Sons is still going on. Then again, they could just have 2 Robins and 2 Superboys, and like they had 2 Flashes and 2 Flashes or something like that. I don't know. Like I said, I don't think Tim Drake should be Robin again. He's already Red Robin, which I think is it. Well, granted, Red Robin is a dumb name. I just think of it as the restaurant chain. So there's really like, I don't see the need to call him Red Robin. He should have gone with a completely different name, and I don't see a need for him to go back to being Robin. You know what I mean? He's already past that. He's matured. He's grown up enough. He's definitely the smartest of the Bat family. And, he's the detective. And I like that about Tim Drake. I like all the Bat family members for the most part. Like I said, he doesn't need to go back to being Robin. He could just stay as Red Robin, or just a different title. Why call him Red Robin? That's what I don't get. It's like, hey, Red Robin, yum, like the burger joint. So that name has always kind of bugged me. I just wish he would have had some other thing. And the thing too about the Red Robin thing is the costumes look too much like the Robin thing. There's too, it's too confusing for people. It was like, why Red Robin? You know, like the restaurant chain. It's just kind of bugs me. But we'll see where it goes from there. I'm curious to see. Kind of nervous in some ways because I don't like character regression, and I don't like the idea of taking like Damien and getting rid of all his, you know, the progression he's made as a character more towards the light, like he was going in Super Sons before. Obviously, when Bendis came in, things changed up a lot, and like when Jeff Johns stepped down, Dan DiDio going back to a more dark and bleak thing. They're doing this with all the Bat Boys. The only one safe right now is Tim, but I think that's only because Bendis is writing him in Young Justice, and you know, Bendis is apparently in charge, it feels like, of everything, which he's writing, what, like 6 or 7 books, and it's going to really dip in quality. So, yeah. But anyways, I'm getting way off topic. Go ahead and check out Teen Titans issue 23. I know I've gone ahead and spoiled like the whole thing, but I did warn you at some point in the video, if I remember. But what are your thoughts on this issue? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? What do you think is going to happen in the future of this run? Where do you see things going? What do you think is going to happen with Roundhouse's sister? Crush, I know we're going to find out more about her, and Kid Flash, I don't know what he's really doing at this point. What do you think is going to happen with Damien in that? Like I said, my prediction is they're doing like a little triangle right here between those three, because Red Arrow is going to be like, oh, I really like you, and then Djinn's like, I like you too. It's going to be something kind of hokey. But I do want to say the idea of Damian Wayne in a love triangle sounds hilarious because it's Damian Wayne, like because he's unlike it, like the idea sounds hilarious to me. Like I think there's plenty of great comedic possibilities you can go with that, because I'm like he is a bit of a jerk. That's one of the reasons I like him so much is he is an asshole to a lot of people, and like in a funny type of way to me. At least I think it's funny, like just to see how he would react. You know, it's something different. It's not like if it was like, say, Dick Grayson and like Batgirl and Starfire or something like that. The idea of Damien in one is new and fresh and unique and sounds kind of funny. Although I like Djinn as a character right now. I think she's the most interesting of the new team members, but you're 4,000 years old. That makes you an adult. Why are you flirting with a teenager? It's just ew to me. But then again, it's like, oh, she's a mystical creature. It's just fucking weird. Well, anyways, I'm going to leave with that. Let me know your comments below about this whole issue, and we'll talk some shit about it. And, yeah, until next time, I think I got to review the Super Sons book that just came out, like, last week, but I didn't get the chance to. But I will this weekend. I got to finish working on my Halloween review that I'm going to post later on tonight at the time of recording this, which is the Wednesday that this came out. So, yep, look forward to that. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Hit the bell for notifications. Subscribe to this channel for more DC Comic Books reviews. I review like Teen Titans and Super Sons and occasionally some other books. So, yeah. That's all I got to say. Take care now. Bye-bye then. I'll see you next time. Peace.